Good morning, Bart.
Good morning. Good to
How are
see
you?
you. Good to
Good to
see
see
your
you.
smiling face.
Good to see you as well. I can't wait to actually see people in person. So, how's the pandemic treated you so far?
Well, my day job is as a teacher, so I've been sitting in this very room talking about how to make films, and it was, a real challenge. You had to really, change how you think about things, and in another kind of way, I've been really encouraging like arts organizations to go digital. And in last year's festival, we showed all of these theater and dance companies who've done things. And we have things for Frame of Mind, the TV show of theater companies and dance companies that are making television. So I think there's some really good things for the art community at sort of learning new ways to reach audiences that have been very profound.
Now, you have the Dallas Video Fest that's coming up. 34 years.
Yes.
How did the festival get started?
So, story of the festival is, I was doing all kinds of things. I was a VJ at a club, and I was doing a bunch of other things. And there was this club at the Dallas Library called the Video Art Study Group, run by a guy named John Held Jr. And John called me up one day and said, "Hey, how would you like to do a program at the Dallas Museum of Art of Video Art?" And I said, "Cool, let's do it." So in 1986, the two of us did this program called Video as a Creative Medium, 2 nights. And one of those nights, I met Susan Teagarden, who later became my wife, who later also became the managing director of the Dallas Video Festival. So after this incredibly successful event, we had a meeting with Melissa Berry, who is the person who runs programs at the museum. And John said, "Well, I never want to do that again." And I said these words with no forethought. I said, "Well, what if we did a festival with video and it was 4 days?" And Melissa said, "Oh, great. Well, let's look at the calendar and see when we can do this." And it's kind of amazing. It's like, can you imagine like going to MoMA in New York and saying, "Hey, can I do a film festival in your place?" And and that's how it started. It's like I didn't know how to get a video projector. I didn't know how to do a program book. I mean, the first year, this new thing called desktop publishing was happening. And we thought, hey, that would be a fun thing to do instead of doing it the old fashioned way. And we were up like 2 days straight figuring out how to get this thing that it got out itself was a total miracle. So like everything we did, we had to learn on our own and figure out how to do.
Now, the festival is coming. Can you tell us a little bit about um, what's new this year?
Well, so what's new this year is it's the last one.
I know. I'm so heartbroken to hear it
That's
because it's been such an institution here in Dallas.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So we have a lot of really great local programs, and what's the most amazingly new and different thing for our festival is we actually have parties. The thing for most festivals, there are a lot of parties, and indeed, going to a festival, you want to meet other filmmakers. But my problem has been our festival is about the filmmakers and the films, and I want you to see the films, and I want you to see them, and I don't want to have like a party against the film because then you have to make a choice. Do I see the film or go to the party? And so generally our films are done at 11 o'clock at night, and who wants to go to a party at 11 o'clock at night? You're tired and exhausted. So we've really not focused on that, but I felt this year to celebrate the filmmakers, our community, and it really is more, I think, than other things. There's a community of people that come to the festival and the community of people who have made it over the years. And, the board members and volunteers and technology people and just so many people who've worked to, it's been kind of amazing. So to sort of have parties to celebrate them and for people to get together, it's like people only see each other once a year at our festival. It's like, and I want them to sort of feel special. So yes, we've added some I think very nice parties, and we've got some just incredible films, from all over the world that sort of deal with a lot of the political issues, the social issues, the pop cultural issues, the way people deal with media, all of the things that are the core principles about what makes a video fest will be clearly here this year.
Now, can you tell everybody what the dates are of the festival?
Oh, sure. So the festival starts with this incredible program on Wednesday, the 29th of September at the Texas Theater. And so we're showing this film called Man with a Movie Camera, which we showed 9 years ago and with an original score. But John Waldmeyer, who made that score, has passed away. And a lot of people in our film community have passed away. So after that film, we are having this memorial service for people in our community who have passed away. And that's just really kind of a special and touching thing. And that's going to be very cool. Then we go to the Angelica, where we'll be from Thursday night at 7 until Sunday night. And Sunday night, we have this special closing blowout, end the whole thing party, where we're showing this film at a drive-in called Fanny, which is about this early women's band who is legendary. And if you've never heard of them, you really need to see this movie. There would be no Go-Go's without Fanny. We have, as our festival, been sort of following technology since the very beginning, high definition, virtual reality, interactive media. So this year, we're doing this in a kind of strange way. In the program book, there is a list of people who are doing documentary TikToks who we think you should follow. So because showing TikToks in a theater is not quite going to be very interesting, but it's like, there are interesting things on these media, which is sort of like a thread we've always been doing. It's like, so here are the things you want to look about in high definition or in CD-ROMs, or like, so we're pointing to where there is goodness in these technologies, because we have followed so many technologies from their early stages and sort of explored how artists have had a chance to use them. Sort of the running theme of these 34 years, which, by the way, is literally half my life.
Wow. Now, what has surprised you the most in the 35 years of doing this festival?
Well, I guess the thing that surprised me the most is how many people will pick up the phone and say yes. When I ask them, it's like, I need a video projector. I need 4 monitors to stand vertically to do an installation. Oh, okay, we can do that for you. Or I need help to put together a program book. Can you design that for me? And, it's amazing. And if you look over the years, the elements that we produce as a festival, it's like I obsess over them, and people have done some great things. The festival bumpers, you go to festivals and you see bumpers. We've had David Lowery did one for us. Christian Vasquez is eagerly awaiting what he's working on for this year. We've had one year DNA Productions, who did Jimmy Neutron. They did this incredible piece that was a mix of King Kong and Big Tex. It's called King Tex. So Big Tex like escapes Fair Park and is terrorizing the city and jumps up on a tall building, and Apache helicopters, shoot him down, and it's just really amazing what people have done. And in our posters and our graphics, and it's not just like an image to signify that this thing is coming, but in so many of them, they express the values of who we are. Like there was one many years ago that just had this green triangle that looked like a VHS play button, and it said, "We push buttons." And it's just like that, like, yes, that's what we do. And to have like a visual representation of that is kind of an amazing thing. So it's like the ethos goes beyond the media that we're doing to all the sort of elements in the way that we do our work, how we do our business. We, in the early days, started using computers, and we had, I believe, the first website of any film festival. So we try to, we believe in technology, and we do it ourselves and how we did our work as we sort of carried through.
Now, speaking of technology, which piece of technology has surprised you the most?
There are two sort of major things. One was the year that Sony came out with the Sony VX1000 and the mini DV format, and Apple came out with Final Cut Pro, and then you could have this cable that could take this material from the camera, which was digital, bring it into the computer and edit it, which basically meant for relatively small amount of money, anybody could have professional quality video. That was a major, it was sort of early 90s time when the universe of what was doable from somebody outside the mainstream who had some cause or some interesting visual idea that they could make and could get people to see it. One of the other things that was really interesting, which is more an internal thing for the festival, is we had this problem with all these different HD formats that were coming on. So we came up with this idea of like, well, instead of projecting on tape, what if we got a digital file and use iTunes to project the video at the Angelica? So as far as I know, we were the first festival to run files to project our media, and that really changed all the kind of things that we've done.
What has been your favorite memory through the 34 years of the festival?
Probably two things that come to mind. One is the expanded cinema, where we put video on the wall of the Omni Hotel and had KXT radio play the soundtrack, which was one of those accomplishments that you just you think it and you think like, how could that possibly happen? And it did. And it was just amazing. And then the other one was the Metropolis event, where we had this great silent movie, original score, the Dallas Chamber Symphony performing, and live dance. And that just was just one of those things that's like, yes, we actually did that. It was amazing. And I guess the last thing I'd add is that we actually had the very first program that it worked. It's like in October of 1987, we had Edie Adams come to show the work of Ernie Kovacs to start this off. And, it's just one of those things that it actually happened and it worked.
Yes, sir. And 34 years is nothing to shake a stick at. Now, tell people how they can get tickets for the festival.
So you go to VideoFest.org. There's a little button there that says tickets, and you can go there and you can look at the whole schedule and all the wonderful opportunities that we have. We have a full festival pass. We have day passes. We also have what we call spotlight passes. So if you want to see all the music programs, you can do that. And so there are different sort of ways you can do that. There's so many different wonderful films, and of course a lot of Dallas and Texas made films as well.
Definitely, people need to definitely support Texas, support local, and check out those films. Tell me more about some of these films that are playing this weekend.
So one of my favorites is you like Mexican food, don't you?
Oh, who doesn't?
Okay, so there's this guy, Adam Medrano in Houston, who wrote a book called Truly Texas Mexican. He is a chef himself, and he made a film, Truly Texas Mexican, where he goes around the state and shows you really authentic Mexican food. So we're showing the film at the Angelica on Saturday. And then after the film, because you're going to be so hungry after watching that, we're going to go to Trumpo, which is in the southern part of Bishop Arts, and have some food prepared by the chef at Trumpo and Adan, a sort of special menu that we have down there. And that is going to be something that you really do not one to miss. Both the experience of seeing the film, listening to a Don who is just really amazing, and experiencing the food. What else can I tell you about? I told you about Man with the Movie Camera, which is just absolutely incredible. Oh, there is something else that's really important. You may have heard that there is this issue about abortion that's happening in this state. We have this film called On the Divide, which focuses on the last abortion clinic in McAllen, Texas. And you have somebody on both sides that you get an intimate portrait of that is really very powerful to understand what's going on. But the real sort of great thing about it is you also get to meet the security guard there, who is this old guy who is just an amazing character. But it does what good documentaries do. It's like you sort of hear about issues and you get sound bites, but to understand something, you have to know the people involved in them, which are just really incredible. Oh, and let me tell you about another one. So there's this wonderful film called Cowboys. And so we live in Texas. Cowboys are part of our culture, but this film is this incredibly beautiful, beautifully photographed film about what contemporary cowboy life is like, and how lonely it is, how difficult it is, how financially struggling it is. But you meet these people that are doing it, some young people and some old people that tell you how things have changed. But the photography is so compelling. It is truly remarkable. And yeah, so that's just a film that if you see it, you will really thank me for pushing you to go see it.
Well, Bart, thank you so much for those suggestions. Um, a couple questions that I have typically that I tend to wrap up my podcast with. Uh, how do you define happiness?
Happiness is a really interesting concept because so many people have struggled to be happy. And and then, yourself says, hey, aren't you happy? It's like, I can't. It's not. I am like the other way. So for me personally, it's pretty easy for me to find happiness. And for me, I'm happy when I'm curious and I try something and I'm in process with something, right? It's like after something is over, you feel good that it's over, but in the midst of doing it, there's a level of joy in the sort of shaping of things. Um, so yeah, for me, that's where I find happiness.
How do you define success?
It's an interesting question, and because it's always a moving target, it's like how do you figure if you are successful? And I don't really know. It's like you do something that works. I mean, on a grant, you have to prove that you've been successful. You've had so many people come in, and they're from these ethnicities, and there's all this, these benchmarks, and so much of our world is so much about quantifying what success is. If you purchase something, you'll get an email about like what how was your customer support, or all of that. So this over quantification of success, is problematic. Success is an internal thing; it's not an external thing. It's like you did this thing, and it actually worked as the way you meant it to be. And then there's the question: is really, is success if the thing went well, or is success that people came to something that may not have been great, but people came to it? They're two different levels of what success is. Sometimes something is great and people come to it, and that's real success when those all things come together. So there is no simple way of defining that.
What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, what would I tell my younger self? To buy Apple stock. And maybe Amazon too. Uh, 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 enjoy the journey. The we're all in this journey to do different things, and so many times the stress and the anxiety and all those other things get in the way of just sort of enjoying the moment. You know, when I talk to other film programs, young people who are doing a festival or people doing it for the first time, a piece of advice I say is it's really important at some point when things are going well to just stop and look around and say, hey, it's actually happening well. Because when it's over, it's like, and you didn't stop to sort of experience that and sort of know in yourself that that happened, you don't get that. So it's the journey, not the external label of success. It's the journey that really counts, and enjoying the journey, and stopping to sort of see all the greatness around you and the support and the things that are going on. That's where the real value is.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk with us about the festival. Tell everybody one more time how to get tickets.
So for this and so much more, you can go to videofest.org. And by the way, a couple other things. One, if you go to our website, we do the cinematic conversations. We do them once a month. I've been slacking off because of doing the festival, but those will keep coming. We also have a newsletter, which is mildly entertaining about what is going on during the week, and sort of, and you can sign up for there. But one other thing that I should mention: if you look at the website and you say, like, I don't know, there's all these things, what should I go see? There's the little thing that says Ask Bart. You click on that and it'll create an email to me and saying, these are the days when I'm going, what should I come and see? And I will make a custom schedule for you.
That's awesome. Bart, thank you so much for, again, taking time out of your day to talk to us.
All right. And thank you. I appreciate it. And be well. And it's good to see a smile on your face.
Good to see you as well. Thank you, sir.